Okay, well, a quick little look in here at the lab. We got a package. Let's check it out and see what it is. I know what it is, but you don't. And it's going to be project. Okay. Oh yeah, I can see just this rustiness all in the bubble wrap here. Oh yeah, wow, this thing is chewed. Oh, wow, whoa. Okay, well, I have got my work cut out for me. I mean, I'll make it pretty enough to put on a shelf. I don't want to stress this hinge out too much, so I'm going to lube it up a little bit. Now I get this globe that belongs on a little wizard out of there. So that's a plus. Did get a little wizard globe. And it's missing a latch. Missing a latch. Supposed to be a latch right here. A very cool looking latch that grabs on this little lip here. Yeah, there's too much work to be done on this thing for me to think about that paint. And I don't know exactly. This is my first one of these, so I'm trying to figure out just how things are constructed here. I'm going to assume, okay, I'm going to lube this all up. I'm pretty sure that this filler cap is seized up anyway, so might as well. All right, so that is, there's obviously some serious bending. It's bent up so much that the cap is touching there, so I can't even get something on that to help turn it. But and by the way, let me just say, because of the condition of this thing, this is going to be, oh, I think we broke the seal, as it were. There we go. Brand new wick. How about that? Jeez. How is that possible, the condition this thing's in? Okay. So that's out. Maybe we'll have luck with the filler cap. Let's try and see. Huh? How about that? That cap's pretty toasted. I know I have a number of donors for caps. Not a DIETZ cap, but I don't think this is going to care. The inside of the tank's great. What happened to this poor thing? Man. I'm wondering, well, I don't know about getting this dent out of here. I mean, is there a way to do that? Kind of bend that back. Thing is, well, I'm thinking out loud, folks, and this is what I like to do on this channel. It's thinking out loud and sharing with you my trials and tribulations in the lantern world here. So, you know, this could make things really annoying in the restoration. So I may want to try to work on that before I get really too far into this other stuff. But I'm wishing that I had a finger like this. Something soft that I could put in there and try to pull that dent out a little bit without wrecking these rims. Like I just put a little nick in there with the screwdriver. And you know how I hate tool marks on things. Yeah, so I tried not wrenching it out, but I loosened the grommet that holds the bail in, kind of destroying things there. And this is how we're learning. And then I'm assuming that these two things here are punched to hold things in. So I don't know. That's in there pretty damn good. So don't know how to get that out. Also, don't know how to get this mechanism out. And I'm trying to look in there through all that baffling. Well, maybe this is factory. Maybe that's not brush marks. Maybe that's something like black paint. Or just something that got smeared on there. I don't think we're going to get a nice looking yellow out of this thing. I could guarantee it, but seeing that? Oh, boy. Yeah, this could be a learning experience for us all, folks. So I'm not going to get bummed because there's no lens with this thing or anything. I'm not going to get bummed if I wreck this. It would suck because it wasn't free, but it also wasn't expensive in the scheme of things. Oh, here we are cleaned up. Yeah, this thing is just toast. And I'm really bummed because I have no idea. I mean, I have an idea how this is constructed, but getting it apart, it looks to me, let's look together, folks. I'm assuming that this machined rim here needs to be opened up to get this whole thing in there. I'm assuming this was pressed. So this was put in, and then this rim was machined around it. That was a cat, sorry. And it looks to me also that this hinge here, to me it looks like there's a post here, and a post here that I think go inside here and are bent over on the inside. So I don't think there's me getting this off. So this stays, the bail stays, and the baffles stay because I don't know how to get them out. And I suppose I could try to open that up and get it up, and it'll never go back to where I want it. I'm telling you. I mean, I know that's some very strong metal. Let me get a Dremel tool in there and take a look at that seam closer. Question is, can I? Oh boy, that is really tight. Don't know. I don't know. See that? And who knows? Nobody even knows. I mean, there's probably holes everywhere in here. This is just turning out to be a lost cause right from the get-go, except for this. Well, I spoke too soon. That's locked up. I'll get the wick soaking in some WD. Okay, I'll let that soak off to the side there a bit. All right, so I'm gonna work on this. and we're going to solder that. What do you say, folks? Okay. Yeah, I could see it coming loose right there. Yeah, she's coming loose over there too. But this may hold it in place. 3 legs are better than 2, right? Wouldn't I know? All right, let's get our equipment out and try that. All right, I'm just gonna throw a little acetone down on there. Make sure everything's, all the solvents and shit are gone off of there. Oh, I don't know if you saw those lights just flicker, but it is storming out. So maybe in a couple seconds, we're gonna hear a boomer. Okay. We are fluxed up. So I need some weight. Perfect. Well, not perfect, I guess. Not enough weight. Huh. What else do I got? There, that'll do the trick. So, let's heat her up. And we'll lay down some solder and see if it sucks it underneath there. Interesting. It's just kind of falling right off. Oh, man, it's just rolling right out. Maybe I need a little space under there. A little less weight. Like that, maybe? Oh, it just kind of flows right out the bottom. Okay. I forgot about my grid system here. This will hold it down as wide as I want. Great. Question is, will that do the trick? Okay, let's try. Okay, that's all going right underneath there. And it's not coming out. A whole bunch of it. Let's see what happens with that. Put a little acetone on there to cool things down. Definitely had to apply a lot of heat to get through all these metals there. Oh, it's getting cleaner. Ah! Oh, it's hollow under there and it just kind of pooled Son of a gun. See what happened there? Well, it bonded to the bottom, just not the top. Yeah, it totally bonded. Oh, no, it didn't. Okay. So, what did we do wrong there, folks? Cleaned it, acetoned it. I don't know. Maybe I didn't clean it good enough. It'll be noisy. All right, let's try that. That's down to shiny stuff. Let's try this again. Like I said, this is it's a learning channel, folks. Let's see if that makes a difference as far as a good bond goes. See what happens there. I don't know what else I can try. Let's give it a minute. All right. Moment of truth. Well, it's holding. It might have worked. Just might have worked that time. So we'll see when we. Yeah. Okay. There might be some life in this thing yet, but I doubt it. So, because of what I just did to it, we're taking the paint off. And I can't take any other parts off because I don't know how. Next, after getting the paint off, we may just try to experiment with trying to get that dent out of there. What I need is good old-fashioned crowbar with the crunk in it. Get it in there, and because I want to get it in there and get some leverage, but without wrecking any of this stuff. So I can't put something down in there. I can't go like that because I'll just wreck all this stuff. Probably not this, but this. Okay, I'm gonna go take some paint off of this thing. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, we got paint stripper and a brush and a lantern. And now I'm going to get the stripper on there and we'll see how it does. Well, we're back from the sink. This is some pesky paint, man. Yeah. I mean, it's baked on pretty good. By the way, I got a Super Baby. This is a Fi-Hand 175 Super Baby. It's chilly and rainy. Thought I'd fire up a lantern and have it keep me company here. So, by the way, I was thinking while I was picking at this with a brush and thinking about this dent, here's what I'm thinking of doing. Bear with me here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this length of rope. This may not work. It worked in my head. But I have this rope here. And I'm going to feed it up through the filler cap. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this to a C-clamp, which is on the edge of my desk here. My desk, which is a repurposed picnic bench. And it's quite thick and heavily built. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this length of rope to that C-clamp, and I'm going to push down on this to get some leverage and see if I can pull this dent up a little bit, because I know when I put this cap back on, it's touching there. I would like to relieve a little bit of that pressure, so I'm going to give that a try, and we'll see. Give me a second here. Well, it actually kind of worked. So what I did was I got the length of rope, put it through there. See, C-clamp on the desk here. And I pushed down and pushed down until I felt something moving, and look at that. That filler spout has come away from that seam there. I'm going to give it one more little try, and then we'll review what happened here. Well, can't believe it worked. It didn't work 100%, but I would say it worked about, I would say about 40, 50%. Oh yeah, we moved a significant amount. I mean that, well, I'd say that's a 1/4 of an inch. Great. How about that? And we got this thing repaired. Yep. Well, this thing's starting to come together. I wish I can get this dent. That's pretty major. I would like to yank up on this, but I don't know how well that's, yeah, that's, I guess that one's going to have to stay, but I can't believe that worked. Okay, well, next time if I do that, I will exclusively have a video on it. So don't worry, check back. Okay, so what's next here? The big wheel, I think. And by the way, I got the, I realized this had paint on it, so I wanted to get some paint strip around it. So I got the wick out. And that paint's just sticking here like crazy, but I got tools that'll get that off. So, quickly, I'm gonna, not quickly, but I'm gonna see how well this thing does on the big wheel. I think we can get a good amount of this shit off of here. Look at that. Look at the shape of the bottom of this thing under the paint. Boy, all the bottoms. I like bottoms. Okay, we'll be back in a minute. Well, you can see how things have migrated around the table with the grinder on. Okay, well, new problems present themselves in giant holes in the tank. Right there. JB Weld It time. That's if I even get that far with this thing. But it's great that we got that denting out of there. That worked out better than I thought. That's great. Boy, I mean, what to do next except going little Dremel nuts on it. But I'm going to, well, I'm going to clean this little sucker up here. Okay, and that was pretty messy in that hole. down there with the wick. So I got these heavy duty pipe cleaners. These are not the ones for crafts. These have like little hunks of scrubby in them. It's pretty cool. Okay, things are clear. Just one more little pass. And on this one side. Okay, so now just need to change this tip up. And you can see how quickly you can go through one of those wheels. So, you know, I say, choose your battles with it, because you don't want to be stuck without them. If you kill, you know, half a box of them on one lantern. But, okay, so let's do a little reviewing here on our progress. Still holding my solder job here. I can get rid of that little nobule there that's bugging me. There. Okay, well, that's it for tonight. I'm gonna we're gonna resume this tomorrow. And I'll think about other ways so we can improve this. Well, it looks a lot better than when we started. So, here by the light of the Super Baby, this is how they did it in the old days. This is how they read a book. How about that? Okay, so DIETZ Night Watch, and we are done for the evening. It's raining like crazy out. So we're going to be back here tomorrow, and tomorrow's going to come up just like, and we're back. Okay, well, boy, where to proceed here? So we know we got to patch these up. JB Weld on there. And we're going to find more. I'm going to go with some harder abrasiveness to try to uncover some other holes so we can get them all at once. And we don't even know what's going to happen all around this rim here. It's pretty chewy. Bottom's fine. So, and I'm going to try a much more abrasive nylon bit. Just try to clean some of this stuff up in there if I can get in there. I think I can for the most part. And we'll work on this here. Sadly, any paint that was still kind of loose last night. Oh, well, it'll still come off. Okay, good. I was afraid it just completely re-solidified and became gross paint again. All right, I got the tan one. This is equivalent to, I think, 120 grit sandpaper. It's pretty harsh, but it'll tell us what's going on here. So let's do it. Well, here is as far as I'm going cosmetically for this. I mean, hey, we did pretty good. Considering what we started with, man, this thing busted off. This whole area here bent in. Well, it's still bent in, but nowhere near as much. And I would fear breaking the weld or solder on this if I tried raising it anymore. Okay, so looks like we're gonna do some JB welding now. I don't even know if I'm ever gonna try putting fluid in this thing, but once I get it done, I'm gonna go test out some globes in there and see. Well, I might have one or two right around here. Let's try it right now. All right, so here we have an Embry Little Supreme that has a DIETZ little wizard size globe in it. And it's, whoops, backwards. Beauteous globe. Obviously much more modern. It's got a cute little hole so you can see the flame. Let's see. I'll be dipped. Bottom fits in there. I think if this thing had a latch, that would work. I didn't think, well, that's not, oh, there, it's on. It freaking fits, bro. Yeah, fits on both lips. Okay, there's a little more motivation. But because this is painted on the outside and it's got some badging, I'm not going to wreck it. I'm not going to wreck it in this thing. I have a spare clear globe I can put in there. This, by the way, this number 150 Embry Little Supreme is a future project. Man, this thing's built. This thing's built like a tank, man. Look great. Embry makes great, super tough stuff. Okay, back to it. This will work. I found an unmarked ruby globe. That'll work. Good. More appropriate. Because this is a night watch. I don't even know what that means. Okay. First, I'm going to clean up all this area here. Might as well just clean up the whole darn thing because I'm probably going to find some more while I'm at it. We are treated with the acetone. All right, before we start that, since we are already wiped down with acetone, I'm going to mark all our holes. I don't lose them when I take my eyes off it. And this is a Sharpie, but little acetone. When I'm done, I take this pen right off there. We'll double up on the glasses here so I don't miss anything. Talk amongst yourself. Dollar store, folks. This is a cut up lunch meat container. That'll be my spatula. You know, kids craft stuff. So, let's get going here. I say, don't worry about putting out too little of this stuff to do your job, because you can always mix more. You can't put it back in the tube though if you take out too much. Okay. I'm gonna kind of slather it on a little bit, and then I'll come back and smooth it out with my lunch meat container. And if you're liberal with it, that's okay. You can always buff it off. Granted, that buffing's not always fun because JB Weld It is extremely tough when it's hardened. And if I go over my areas, that's cool because there could be very new holes that just, oh, that's a cat doing that. I get them all? Looks like it. Might as well just get it all into one big Yeah. Maybe I'm not even going to need my piece of lunch meat container. Yeah, why don't I just use this up and just make this all uniform here. All right, that's about all I need to do, unless I find another hole. If I got a little bit left, maybe I can just slap a little on an area that's a little worrisome, like back here. Good. Okay, so we are done for now. When it starts settling, you'll start seeing some of the bigger holes kind of sinks in as it flows into the hole a little bit. But that's okay, because if I come back in an hour and that hole is falling in, I can just make a little bit more and plop it in there. Or I could even use the epoxy putty that I got, which is another JB Weld product. Not a sponsor. Okay, cool. So while I'm waiting for that, I figured, well, maybe I'll throw a wick in here. This might be 9mm. Just might be. Today it's gonna be, because I have this 9mm that I think I got this for Comet. Might be for the DIETZ Comet I got this for. Or maybe it's for the Super Baby. Could be. One of them little babies. And we cleaned this out earlier with pipe cleaners. Okay, that's gonna be just fine. That'll do. And we're back in the lab here. So we've had 24 hours for the JB Weld It to cure. And it looks quite cured, even though it's been very cold here in the Northeast. It's very cold for me because I like it. I like summer. I like chlorophyll. I like greenery and fun things. Okay, so I'm gonna work this down, make it look a little more presentable to me, and then we'll decide what's next for this thing, if there is even a next. We'll see. Okay, and there's Super Baby here supervising. Well, folks, I do apologize. I had just taped a whole bunch of me sanding down the JB Weld on the Night Watch. And I'm cleaning up the aftermath here. And then I realized when I went to stop the video, I was starting it. I never started it. So let's look. I was using a flap wheel, which is made for wood and PVC. But I was using that to texture. Well, not the texture, but to smooth out the JB Weld here. And I'm not going nuts with it to make it look pretty. I mean, look what you're looking at here, right? This is, yeah. So, I mean, that's basically as far as contouring it. That's about it, but I'm going to take a nylon wheel to it to smooth it out just a little bit. Make it a little bit more uniform because that's the way my brain works. And then, I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe we're going to put some fluid in it and try it and maybe fire it up so I can get this thing out of the way and go on to other things, because this is, boy, I'm not setting the world on fire saving this thing. But we have learned a lot from this thing for sure. Okay, so what I did was all right, so now I'm going to go on to, I'll go for a green wheel. And get my sandbag out. Okay, let's see what we can do here. Maybe I'll paint this. Maybe that's... Nah. I'm not going to take the time. I'm not going to. So, by the way, we are missing the latch, which goes here. And grabs that and holds it. And holds it down so it can pressure fit the... lens or globe, depending on your inventory. Okay, let's try some kerosene in here. What do you think, folks? I got a lens to put in there. Well, I got a red globe to put in there. Let's all right, let's treat it and then we'll try firing it up. Well, actually, that's... Because I was thinking to myself, well, why don't we put some fuel in it first and see if that works? And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to get oil all over the kerosene. Well, it's oil and kerosene, right? Yeah, Brad, edit this part out. What's the matter with you? Okay. So again, if you have not tuned in before, I like to apply my boiled linseed oil with 5% kerosene. I like to use a paintbrush so I can get in all the nooks and crannies that I cannot get to with my fat fingers. So I just paint it on and then wipe it off. This is really, by the way, so treating with something like a WD-40 or linseed oil or whatever, it's to treat against flash rust, for one thing. Which, I mean, even you'll even get flash rust in your home. And it's also for, you know, depending on what you do with them, whether you take them camping with you or use them outside or leave them hanging outside or in sunlight or whatever, it's going to help protect. Now me treating the chimney is not necessarily a move for somebody that uses the lantern a lot. I would recommend hitting these surfaces if you're displaying your lantern and not necessarily using it all the time, because this will burn off. I mean, you burn it long enough, and it's going to burn all that oil off, and it will smoke, and it'll kind of smell a little funny in your house. The linseed oil smells pretty pleasant. So you could avoid the chimneys, burning the areas that get high temperature from the burning kerosene. You can avoid that. Make sure you clean your brushes. Linseed oil dries kind of stiff, and you'll have very stiff brushes next time you use them. They're not ruined necessarily. You can kind of crack them and get them moving again, but it does kind of dry stiff. I really will be amazed if this thing fires up. Or should I, well, I don't say fires up. I mean, if it holds fuel, I know it'll fire up. I mean, it's just kind of scientifically obvious that it'll fire up when it has fuel. But I'll be amazed if it just holds fuel without leaking. Because there's so many things about this night watch that scream, why did you bother? Why'd you bother with this thing? All right, I got to make sure that I get a good amount of this off the fount so I can keep an eye out for leaks. All right, let's try it over fuel, folks. All right, we'll start with a little. I put very little in there. It's barely covering the bottom. Incredibly, I'm not seeing any leaks yet. Let's go for a little more. I feel like I've been working on this lantern for like a month. Okay. Okay, that's oil in there. Well, this is astonishing. I'm gonna put the burner in, and I'll keep an eye on the wick until it gets a pinkish hue. And then we'll light this candle. I can't believe we're going to fire this baby up. I'll give it a few minutes to let that wick turn pinkish. All right, well, we have a pinkish hue. So, let's light her up. Whoops. Blew out the match. Blow out the torch. Okay, I like this much more than the round wick dead flame. All right. How are you supposed to put one of these on when it's lit? Okay, so that's still a little uneven because of the major dent. Well, that is what we're supposed to have there. We have flame, folks. It is lit. Can you believe it? Can you believe that piece of whatever? It's lit. Let's give it a few minutes. Well, here we are. We got Super Baby, and we got a DIETZ Night Watch fired up with it. Let's bring you down and show you. I put up a piece of cardboard, by the way, so we can get a better effect here. Well, there we are, folks. That looks like a giant flame, but it's reflecting off the back. See what I mean there? See? Super Baby Night Watch. Cold Blast Dead Flame. But hey, you know what? From where we started from here, let me just. This is your show, Night Watch. Let me get Super Baby out of the way. So here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, DIETZ Night Watch. So let's review the things that that we did here. We fixed about 15 holes, good size holes in the fountain. Fixed it with JB Weld. We had one of the posts that it was completely disconnected. We tried a number of different methods and got it soldered successfully, and it stayed together through the whole rest of the restoration. And we also got a major dent on it, a major dent of the whole fount area here. This was all bent in to a point where this filler cap was touching the rim here. And yeah, those are the major things that that we learned. We taught ourselves to do today. All right. And okay, well, you know what? I like it a lot more now. Now that I got it to the point where it fires up. Still missing a major part. Well, two major parts. It's missing a proper Fresnel globe. But I wasn't gonna spend what they're asking for. Yeah, so I don't even know if somebody's gonna want to sell a latch. I mean, who's gonna have one? I don't know. I'll look around, but I don't want to spend money on one for this. Man, I don't want to spend money on a Fresnel globe for this. This will do just fine for now. Maybe I can find a little something to hold it on there so I can hold it by the bail. And I bet you I got something. A nice little metal clip. Yeah, a little clamp might fit on there. And it'll stick out, but it will function as needed. Let's try that before we end the video. Hold on a second. All right, so what I got is this little thing, but I can take off this rubber. I use these clips and this rubber comes flying off every single time, but yet when I want to take the rubber off, I can't get it off. I'll be right back. All right, so I pulled the rubber off. I'm not going to pull the rest of the rubber off until I know it's going to work, but I got to hold this down, and it's very hot. It's holding it. Doesn't look pretty. Doesn't look pretty at all, but it's holding it. Yeah, it's got a good little grip on it. All right. All right, so now I can pick it up. Okay. You know, that's actually acceptable to me because of where this thing started. Okay, so here, for my glamour shot, I'm gonna take that off of there. But all right, folks, here we are with on the fly clip to hold it down. Now I can pick it up by the bail and move it. I don't know if I'm gonna go walk through my house with it like that, or hang it outside where there's a breeze. Not necessarily, but I can move it around a table somewhere without grabbing a hot spot. So, folks, ladies and gentlemen, DIETZ Night Watch, this was an experience. And I know a lot more about these now, except for how to get the bail out safely without damaging, and how to get the chimney out. Oh, and I see it smoking there. I'm starting to heat up, I'm sure. I'm starting to heat up some of that linseed oil that's on the chimney there. And all right, folks, hey, this was an experience. We learned a lot. I'm hoping we learned together. Until next time, folks, don't you go changing.